Nathan's fall personal project guiding question. How can Gundam style suits help improve the world of building and rescue?
Mm, well, little suits, due to the sheer size, would be much more useful at moving much heavier objects like, let's say an avalanche happens. Someone's trapped under a boulder or in their vehicle. They can't get out, but the boulder needs to be moved. But it's in an awkward spot, so a big, heavy, clunky machine like a crane wouldn't actually be able to get there and help. So, with the precision of having a human behind a well articulated arm like this one, they'd be able to uh, effectively grab a boulder, moving it, and be able to easily pick up the vehicle as well to bring it into a much easier area to work with. Like bringing it closer to the firefighters so they can use the jaws of life to pry open the closed in area, trapping the person inside. Or by condensing the beam sabers that use a plasma uh, encased in a magnetic containment field. By adjusting the frequency of the magnetic field, it could effectively become a jumbo sized scalpel. Or let's say the unit it breaks down. All that you can really use is the beam saber, but it's in a cold area. So you could then theoretically take it off, put it down, turn it on a lower setting to create heat. Use that in situations where you might not be able to get them to somewhere safe in time. Give the pilot it inside medical training so they can handle any emergencies. Develop storage compartments inside in the arms to hold stuff like medical kits. Because in some emergencies, you wouldn't be able to get them to a hospital to be treated right away. You'd have to theoretically stabilize them. Because leaving them with that many open wounds in, let's say, sub-zero climates, suddenly, by using in your head and training, you could save a life much easier and much faster than any helicopter.
So, other than that, do you feel like this might help save the rescuers as well, preventing them from, say, being injured or.
Oh, easily. With thick armor like this, they could be incorporated in most fields that would be hazardous. Remove the weapons and let's say give it a few heavy set tools. Let's say precision plasma welder. Then you could make it go from combat or rescue into construction. Modify certain aspects of it. Let's say when removing the weapons and stuff, you will develop a compartment for the inside of the backpack here to theoretically keep injured people. Someone gets injured on the field, you could theoretically stash them away in the well armored compartment and get off to safety. Or, due to with the design of the RX-78-2 in particular, you could effectively get rid of the big heavy armor and eject the core fighter, effectively an escape pod for situations where you're not sure if you'll be able to get this hulking mass of metal out of, let's say, the battlefield.
Sorry.
Troops, more often than not, are stuck on the battlefield because these big heavy machines like tanks are damaged beyond the point of repair, but they're trapped inside. Something's blocking the door. Maybe the door has been heat sealed shut. They're losing air. They're losing their chance to escape. By incorporating a launching mechanism like the RX has here, you could theoretically save that many more soldiers.
Are there any designs that are design changes that you would make to make it better accessible for this?
I would say instead of having it at 18 meters tall, maybe you bring it down to 16 or maybe 15 meters. While it's only a couple meters shorter, it would greatly reduce the amount of energy needed just to move. And you could streamline a lot of the functions to bring down the cost. Let's say using the RGM-79, aka the GIM, a mass production type using the same base design as the RX here, they removed more of the larger armor panels to make it much more lightweight and reduce the number of parts, as well as removing the core fighter functionality entirely. Personally, I wouldn't do this, since this could make the difference between someone living or dying. For on the battlefield, I would definitely replace the beam weapon here, the beam rifle, which only has a usage of 16 shots before it's effectively dead weight. Because of its older in-universe design, it was restricted to 16 shots before it was dead. And a weapon without any ammo is just dead weight. So I would personally replace something along the lines of this to streamline the production cost. Replace it with a solid projectile machine gun. By developing larger rounds, something along the size of this would easily be able to incorporate tank rounds quite easily. On the battlefield, a mobile suit could be a very powerful weapon. But if production costs were brought down enough, and those with proper training got their hands on one, it could also do great good for the field of rescue. And that's my stance on it.
While you were making this prototype or model design, did you run into any problems that you had to problem solve?
Yes, the entire wiring inside the head for the LED unit, overcomplicated and, quite frankly, a pain in the rear to assemble. As well as a few parts not fitting together quite as well as I'd like to, like some moving armor pieces on the arm, which do not like cooperating with me. Well, I gotta say, the biggest issue for me was an inherent flaw with the design itself, and inside the legs are shock absorbers, which, on a technical level, is a genius idea. But on a model kit that's going to be carrying this much weight, like this thing has some decent weight to it because it also has screws inside the build all over the place. Bandai, in their infinite wisdom, decided to incorporate actual springs and a sliding mechanism to simulate shock absorbers in the legs. Now, I think it's a cool idea, except for the execution of it lacking the locking mechanism you might want to display it with.
Anything you would like to add about your build, your concept ideas, or anything of that nature?
Well, as of now, I don't really have any big plans for this unit, this one in particular. I'm going to do it up as best as I can, make it look good. I'm primarily going for accuracy to the series it's from, just because that's how I enjoy displaying them. Not to mention with how expensive these things are, I'm not going to be wasting my time getting a second one just to custom paint it.
Understandable.